Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going through not only my Supercoach round review from round 15, but I've actually decided to make it a round 16 preview as well, just because this video is about 2 days behind, so I thought I'd double up there and make it a little bit easier for you guys there with this video, so that the Thursday there's less on as well. So we'll probably do this now as well with Supercoach, now that it's become that point in the season where there isn't really going to be trades. It's probably just going to be the same sort of team. It'll probably be just a Monday video, etc., and then maybe a Thursday video if I do any trades. But anyway, let's jump into this video. So as you can see, I ended up scoring a 2103, which was a round rank of 27,422, and an overall rank up 1,195 to 17,688. Still not the best, but definitely something we can work on a little bit. And I feel like my team could easily get into the top sort of 10k or so by season end if we can just have a decent end to the buys, because I feel like my team isn't as sort of heavy on the round 16 buy compared to a lot of other teams. Yes, we do lose our sort of bench cover because of Carroll being not named, which does suck. But, our cover in general. So we're down to, I think, 20 guys. But I think a lot of teams also had Carroll still. And I'm also potentially just going to look at trading out Carroll now anyway, because if he's not going to play, they might as well hold a Clark or someone like that. But we'll see based on break even which way I go there. But anyway, let's look at the round that was round 15. Sinclair in the D1 spot went a 65. He was horrific, and but one of his worst games that I've seen him in the last 2 or 3 years. But it is what it is, a 65 from him. He'll still be fine in the long run. Just sucks that you have to cop that score. And he's probably going to be on a downward trend now for a couple of weeks. We saw him do this, I think, early on in the season as well. He had a 70 and then a 99 and an 83, but then went on a really extended run of high scoring to basically get back to what he was post the 70. He's been averaging basically 115 for like 7-8 weeks. So yeah, he will be back to his best. I think it was just one bad score. Wangani Malira is averaging 109 now for the year, 109.6. And yeah, after copying, what was it, an injury, I want to say it was in this game here, copying a potential concussion in the second quarter, for him to still be on that 100 run is quite good. And now we're seeing the real fruits in terms of his price point and him getting out of the price point of many people that don't own him. If we just look at the summary here, you'll see that he's still only owned in 25% of teams, which is really good that he's only owned in that sort of segment there. And yeah, really hoping that he can put good use to that, really damage the teams that don't have him. Zorko, 105, he's been pretty good since we've had him. Yes, he's had the big games. Yes, he's had the small games, but a 105 you take, honestly. Does have the bye this week, but then has Port, Carlton, and Western Bulldogs, which he should be able to score pretty well against, you would expect. Whitfield concussed on 16. It does look as if he should be available, should have a chance, I should say correctly, to be available for the likes of the West Coast game in round 17. So yes, it could be that we effectively lost about 60 points on him, if you think about it that way, like I was discussing on the Monday night, that we lost 60 odd points to him because he basically got covered by a 60 or so score. So yeah, I would just be careful about trading him out, because if he comes back, then he's going to average 110 for the last 6 games. And is that really worth a trade at this point, given that he might not even miss a game, and you might have traded him out just for basically about 20k, 30k of cash loss? Is that really worth 2 trades? I don't think so. So yeah, I'd be cautious with trading Whitfield, to be honest. Carroll, yep, he scored a 63, a good compounding just a decent enough score to sort of level up the, to get rid of what Whitfield was going to give us for the side, because that 63 obviously counted, which was good. McCarthy DMP'd, and we got Clark 65. Clark's obviously on the bye, but if we just look at these two guys in Clark, who's got a 34 break even, and Carroll, who's got a -8 break even, you'd probably keep Carroll just because he's going to potentially play. But then again, Angus Clark has the potential post-bye to have those big games. I mean, he's had 97, a 71. Carroll's had basically a couple of 60s, an 80 and a 60 there again. So basically one good game. So you might want to keep Clark, because if you're not going to be able to realize the cash generation from Carroll, where later on in the year, is there much use with him compared to like a Clark, if Clark's able to give the bigger scores? That'll be an interesting debate to be had. Because, well, in the end, is it really going to matter? You're probably going to have, thinking about it logically, you're potentially not even going to have, you probably also just want one of these two that's not going to be playing, because, yeah, they both defend a lot, and you kind of want that defender slot anyway, unless, oh, well, you've got McCarthy. For me, it would be McCarthy in the flex position, Mills in D6, or vice versa. So maybe you do just want the Clark there as well, to help compared to a Clark or a Carroll there. It doesn't really matter, one of the two that potentially will score. Moving on, Sarong, absolutely outstanding, 149. I took that captaincy score, well, the VC score, sorry. Nick Dacos, 157, absolute fantastic. Harry Sheasel got to a 103, wasn't his best game. Jai Caldwell, 125, huge from him. He's been absolutely mega since we got him in. That was the ripest pick that I've seen, because I'm pretty sure if you still take out that 40 or whatever, the injury game that he had, you can kind of see the two injury games here anyway. The 78 and the 82 minutes games. If you take them out, that's a 101 removed from 10 games. So that gets him down to 8 games for a 911, which 911 divided by 8 is what? Somewhere around that 114, 113 marker. So he isn't exactly going the 116 that we picked him up at, which was around about here. We picked him up, and he's since gone about, what's that, 130, 338. So he's gone like 113 in that time, but he's still going around that 113 to 115 in this midfield role that we've basically seen him do for the last couple years when he gets CBAs. So that's why it was obvious. Merritt's probably going to go just because he's got tags coming up. Gold Coast in round 17, he probably copped Rao. Round 18 against Richmond, and then round 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, he cops probable tags in most of those games, if not all. So that's why I'm going to be moving him on to guys that can probably get through tags, but also are just dangerous in their own right and probably have better scoring, top end scoring compared to Merritt. Daniel, probably a guy that I've annoyingly had to keep all year, but his 90s aren't really losing too much. Doherty, he's fine to play, which is good, and with the reinvented backline, you could actually see him really do really well for Carlson, because they lose out. I mean, they're basically losing out a Carroll for Billy Wilson, which could actually help Doherty out a little bit. And then Zach Johnson's 32 didn't really mean much, to be honest with you. And I have thought also about just getting rid of him, but he's got a 14 break even, and there's still cash to be made out of him. So yeah, I'd honestly rather probably keep him and just have him as that midfield loopable option there, as he's had 100 games or 80 games before that you can probably loop on. He's had an 82 84s. If he gets that, I mean, it's probably not even going to matter, but you could loop that on over some other guys, etc. Gordon, Cherry, Boyd. Cherry was the only guy that played there. Yep. A 79 really does suck, but it brings down, I guess. He's going to go down in price now with a 213 break even against the Hawks. He could go 160 and still go down 20, 30k. So he's probably on his way towards that sort of 610, 620k range very, very quickly. As if we just look at him averaging 120 for the next couple of weeks, he basically gets down to, 611k very, very awfully quickly. and 110 would probably see him drop below the 600k range very, very quickly. So yeah, he's probably going to be very, very in the sort of 600k range soon, unless he has a big one against one of the two next opponents in Hawthorn and Western Bulldogs. Bailey Smith, 85, that was kind of surprising, but I'm very glad that I took the captaincy off him, because I believe I had the captaincy on him right before the game, but I'm glad I took it off. Matt Kennedy finally got sort of reward for his fantasy scoring, at least. He scored a 113 SuperCoach for a 114 fantasy, which is a really decent split for him. He's usually very, very much in the negatives. McRae, 131, he's starting to pay out now. 218, yes, he did miss... what was that? 11, 12, 13. He had a bye as well in 13. So he missed 2 games of scoring. Luckily, it wasn't as bad, I don't think. So I lost about 120 points or so holding him. And hopefully he can pay that back with the trade, holding the trade, I guess, in the next coming weeks. Horne-Francis, 88. He's also, they basically mirrored each other, those two. And yeah, Horne-Francis, he also missed the 2 weeks as well. So maybe, I think they've probably paid about 30 points back so far, compared to all the other primos that we have in the forward line. So 30 or so points back at the moment out of that 120. They're probably going to run close to paying it back anyway. Let alone at the time that you had to trade them, one of the weeks was dead in anyway, the bye week. Well, I already counted that, sorry. So, yeah, it'll be interesting if they can make it, if they can get back their points, that 120, and then it's effectively, I saved a trade for free almost. But yeah, those two are 2 guys that I'd look at grabbing up. Sam Darcy went off, and he's got the Swans this week, and that'll be interesting to see how the Swans handle him, because he basically has no opponent this week that could even touch him. Because I'm pretty sure he's the tied tallest player in the league, and the Swans' tallest player outside of in their back half is 193 centimeters, as I said on Monday, which is 15 centimeters shorter, 6 inches shorter than Darcy. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Bolton, yeah, time for him to go, to be honest with you. And then Mills, yeah, glad that I brought him in. He went to that half back role that I said he would, and Roberts came in onto the wing. So now we move on to trades, Bolton and the likes of Merritt. And then the last one is I initially traded Clark and got this done. So we'll see what I do in the end, but I think it's going to be Clark or Carroll. Doesn't really matter too much. Maybe I get rid of Carroll if I'm thinking that I can realize that, like, cash generation if they're both not going to play for the rest of the year. But then again, I can just trade the other one, because the other one's probably going to be the most valuable player unless Johnson does play, unless we think that Johnson's going to play again and get that cash up as well, because he would be the one you trade alongside a Primo or something like that to get another player. But then again, I could get 2 Primos. I could do 2 rookies up to a like really underpriced guy, like not a Dylan Moore currently, but someone of that like regard there. Maybe Brett Daniels is out injured, but someone really, really cheap that's had an injury or 2 or really bad run of games where they just tank in price. But anyway, on to the guys that we're getting in, and sometimes you got to go big. And this is the only week that we'll be able to grab him left. So we're going to do it for Bontempelli. Then we've also got to move the likes of a Harry Sheasel down back, I believe. And then that means that we can grab up a Butters, which is another player that I feel like we are basically in the last week that we can grab him up. And then we need to move Caleb Daniel forward to then be able to grab up a guy by the name of Liddy, because it looks like he's going to be playing for the rest of the year. And that'll give me 10k spare, 2 trades. But that basically means that if we just go here quickly, Dawson, and then if we move Petrarca just quietly, Bazza Smith can sit on the, if this will do it for me, Bazza Smith can now sit on the midfield bench there. That gets me that. I mean, I could just do this in general, actually. I'll do it. Petrarca's probably going to play out of my midfield anyway, just so that it looks better. But yeah, Caldwell in a complete team would do this here. and I might as well honestly do that and create myself a captaincy option there through the likes of Coolwell, but I have Smith anyway on the field, so it doesn't matter. I would love Gross to come back just for that extra player, but in the end, it doesn't really matter too much. Now, looking at it, yes, my backline does look a little bit sheepish at the moment this round, because I do have the 2 guys out in Whitfield and Carroll, alongside obviously Zorko as well, who's off field. So I am down to 4 plus 8 is 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I am down 3 guys, which is, you're running it tight, but then again, like, am I running it that tight is a big question. And so, yeah, I don't think it's the worst outcome. And then obviously next week, when the buys are done, this team will roll out, and it won't be the worst option there. Liddy or Johnson if they're playing early, etc. And then, yeah, so it will be a pretty decent side that I'll be able to roll out, to be honest with you, which will be good. So yeah, I'm happy about that, to be honest with you. There, like, just thinking about it, in round 17, I can, I mean, they both play rather late in the week. Essendon play on the Saturday, and then Saturday early, and Port Adelaide on the Saturday night, which is rather late-ish for a loop, but we'll see how that goes, considering Carlton also play early. Round 18, do Carlton play early? They do again. Round 19, do Carlton play early? I can get in front on the round 19 game with at least Port Adelaide and Essendon as well, so I can get in front in both of them if they're still playing. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Now on to VCs and captaincies. Who does Gorn have? Gorn has Gold Coast. That's not a good matchup. Cherry has the likes of Hawthorn. That's not a good matchup. Bontempelli has Sydney. Potential tag areas. Butters has Carlton. He'll probably get copper tag. Jordan Dawson has Richmond. That is a VC or captaincy waiting to happen there. That is on the Sunday, so that is a captaincy option. And then have we got a West Coast game? A Collingwood versus all West Coast. Nick Dacos VC. I don't care. He's gone through tags before. That's a pretty obvious VC and captaincy options to me. I don't even have to really look at it. I mean, I will just quickly look at DFS for you guys, just to show you that that is, I'm pretty sure, a very, very common set of captaincies, just due to the SuperCoach. If you go last 5, you'll see what I mean. We've got Gold Coast actually being a really good midfield matchup, so guys like Petrarca could do well. And then you've got Richmond there as well, like we said, and West Coast. We're hitting those 2 matchups inside mids. For Rucks, it is GWS, Port Adelaide, and Richmond. If we look down the bottom, you've got Gold Coast at a -15. That's going to be bad for, is it Gorn? I'm pretty sure it's Gorn. Yep, Gorn's going to probably struggle. And then you've also got Hawthorn, who are a +7 in the last couple of weeks with a couple of 120 scores. So you could look at Cherry, but I wouldn't, just being on the safe side. You've got two cellar dweller matchups for Nick Dacos and Jordan Dawson, who should do really, really well. And let's just look at it in terms of the long run. Hawthorn are still +2.94. They're very much an evens team. They held Max Horn to 142. And they also, so you're probably going to get 120 score out of the likes of a Tristan Cherry, 130 score, but you're not going to get that potential 150, 160, I don't think, compared to other players. But anyway, that is the video there, going through my round 15 preview, or sorry, not preview, review, my round 15 SuperCoach review, as well as my round 6 preview. I thought I'd just do this one just to get it out to you guys, double up, make Thursday a little bit easier on myself. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy that video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I will see you guys in the trade targets videos later. Bye guys.